Hello there folks, Steve here. Life can become very frustrating, confusing, especially when you collect some ideas and thoughts of your own and become excited and enthusiastic about those thoughts and see those thoughts as being right, and then you approach other people, maybe friends or family, with those ideas, and the response is mainly confusion, frustration, misunderstanding. You feel like you'd have been better off not putting the idea out there in the world in the first place, not telling anybody. I like to discuss things. We all like to discuss things, to converse about things. And sometimes I discuss things in order to find other people's opinions, maybe even question things to find some answers. But sometimes I literally just simply try to share what I feel is gems of wisdom, gems of information. And now I don't really care if anybody else thinks that there's such a thing as truth or wisdom or gems. And a lot of the times I can't give sources for those gems, and I don't even want to give sources if there were any. Because why do we human beings seem to need some kind of written proof that's credible, of a credible source? What is a credible written source? Now, I'm not saying there's no credible sources, but just because something's published and written and agreed on by a majority does not make it proof, does not make it evidential, does not make it fact. It just makes it a mass idea, a popular idea, a group idea, which is potentially subject to groupthink, to basically people thinking it's true because everybody else thinks it's true. Now you only need one person to infiltrate a group to make the group think that it's made a decision. So we get confronted with confusion and frustration in the outside world. You, I, individually. I may meet you and we may disagree on something. And so it depends on what we're talking for. What are you talking to me for? Or what am I talking to you for? And if we're on two different intentions, surely we could be talking beyond each other. Are we talking about absolutes? Are we talking about solutions? Now time solutions. If the train is going towards a valley and there's no bridge, the bridge has collapsed, do we design a new bridge, or do we decide to jump off the train? Do we speculate about how bridges should be maintained? Do we talk about the quality of bridges these days? Do we talk about who's responsible for the bridge not being there? All these arguments about the bridge and the quality of the bridge. Is there a bridge? No, there's no bridge. Yes, there is no bridge. And so then, when you come out of that battlefield of madness, thoughts, which is mostly based up of the result of intellectual warfare, psychological warfare, people fighting battles with things they've got off television or from the media, they've been armed with weapons that will backfire. The words we use have got double meanings, and we get caught out because we're obviously using a word in its evil connotation. I'm no different than any other human being. Except one thing I say, for myself, that has changed in my own life, that I don't know other people have managed to conquer or not, but I've spent a lot of time in my life. I've had times where I've had a lot of money. I've had times where I've had zero money. I've had times where I've been in bigger debt. I've had times where I've had my own company and had people working for that company. And I was always looking for the success. I always thought that, money wasn't the best solution, but it was the best solution for now. So if we all, if we just work at the money, we can buy the things we need to gain the power we need to succeed. So it always kind of meant earning the money before beginning. It always seemed to be something, another dependency before beginning. And I'd watch rock bands, music groups, entertainers, artists, as that's the field I'm in. I'd watch people trying to set up the pretext of what they want to do, to set up the business before the business begins, to, buy a good guitar and a good amplifier before even using the old one to play on, sort of thing. Almost as if, to me, it almost seemed like we was just postponing the main thing, the main task, which was to raise up and express the art, regardless of the situation, even if there was even if there was some impending danger coming to carry the song on, almost. That was the conviction that I thought people should put into the thing that they love in life, be it whatever it may be in life. It doesn't have to be just music. It's just that's my own personal love, So why then work at McDonald's for 10 years to get yourself an amplifier and a van and things like that to get to the gig, when you can, there's people around. We're all together. This is the thing about economy. It all seems to get filtered through the government and then back again to each person. We kind of lost this attitude that we're of service to each other. When one person gives another person some money, it's almost as if they feel like they've got some special kind of power over that person. That person's in a special kind of debt. You can lend somebody something of value, like a guitar or a ladder, and you might not get it back for years, but it's not really the same kind of monetary debt. But if you lend someone a fiver or, 10 quid or $10 or 10 euros, every morning that person wakes up, they probably think, oh, I owe that person, I'm in debt to that person, I'm indebted, they have power over me. And that's a horrible situation to be in. And so years ago I thought, okay, I'll try it different. I'll try just not running a business. I'll just see what happens if I, But the basic thing is the more airplane, the bigger you want your company to be, the more money it costs to run and everything like that. And if you're only taking into consideration paid workers who won't do anything without money, all these types of things where the whole thing's just money based business, well, of course it works. If you just put another 10 million into it, then you don't even need your record sales or to sell your products at the end of the day. You might as well have just saved the money from the business and invested it in stocks and shares. There comes a point where a business is just not viable. When you've got so much stuff and so much work to do that you actually lost the core of what was necessity for your skill set. So I decided to sort of not step back, but just kind of not have the same pursuit as anybody else around me at that time. I thought, okay, I'm not going to pursue success. I'm not going to pursue money. I'm not going to pursue anything. I'm not even going to pursue not pursuing, if you know what I mean. Now, I'm often thinking to myself, I'm not going to make videos anymore. But that's also a pursuit in my eyes. I do what I do because I do, and I've learnt that. I could I've got invitations to work in other places in the world where I could just drop of a hat, give up everything I've got here and move to there, But I don't want a fixed job. I don't want another life, I just want this life to continue in the way that it does. And I'm not saying I'm passive, I'm very active, otherwise I wouldn't be making videos, as you know. This is my attempt to push business ethics beyond those old values about money. If we need this, we need that, but we always need money. And we get into a circular argument as if the person who's denying the need for the money is some kind of joker. But it's not true. The person is just trying to express that money is a tool, not an end. Money is power, but it's not your power. And it disables people as well, because in essence these days you don't need to have any skills other than servitude. And with a servitude you can earn the money, and with that money, that power of value, you can then keep yourself warm, dry, clothed and survive, based on the fact that you were just a good slave. You're just good at sweeping up the floor. Which I'm not saying that sweeping up is a slave job, but just... So this money thing, a society will never ever be able to get rid of money. Societies, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, but every society will always have a currency, let's not call it money then. But every society will always have like this ability to exchange. Otherwise you're going to have to wash all your clothes and cook all your meals and roof your house and collect your wood and everything on your own, or barter it or whatever. But the moment where you help someone chop your wood, even if you just use a calendar, in my opinion, it's kind of an accounting. You become kind of time aware. You're keeping tags on time, which is just another form of currency as well. There's so many forms of currency that it's stupid to believe that that money is the only currency and that it needs to be backed by tangible things. And really, I don't know where I'm going with this. 12 minutes, not been too long. So my own personal point that I can put to this is, doesn't seem to matter, a lot of people seem to tell me this, that it seems sometimes the harder you try to build up a business, to make a career for yourself, to get some stable cash in, the harder life becomes and the more confusing, and sometimes the less you end up with. See, it just seems... Well, obviously, we can't live in a world where... We don't live in a world where everyone can get as much hands on as much money as they want, do we? Money obviously isn't as powerful as we think it is. Otherwise, the richest of the people on planet would do something with it. But we have this impression of rich and poor. To me, poor, the fine line between rich and poor is very, very small. If you was to take, a rich person can have as much chocolate as they want to eat, and a poor person can't. But if you look at how much somebody can eat for chocolate, it's not that much. Say like 2 bars or 5 bars of chocolate, which is not 5 million. A rich person can't consume the 5 million bars of chocolate, whereas the poor person, would be happy with 1. You see, so we're not really talking about a true balance there, because the rich person, they might have a 50-bedroom house but can only occupy one of the rooms at a time. So really we're talking about personal power and public power and political power and the obsession to have power, the idea that to have no one else, no other human, to be dependent on no one and to have no one depend on you it doesn't work, because you end up like being fully dependent on a government system in order to get independence from your neighbours. So that's where people choose the bigger evil, and it's there. It's an invisible evil. It's a flag. It's a logo, and that's the choice we make. You know, we choose, it seems, to still worship, obey the higher powers than to trust in each other. We've been pretty badly tricked, I'd say. I'd say most of it comes off television, which is why it's good if we get on these videos and just, you know, even the balance at least. Anyway, I'll just leave it there. I don't know if I've said anything really. I find it hard to relax sometimes and to do a video just relaxed. I'm relaxed off camera, but when I pick up the camera I think I should have something to say that isn't just a waste of your time. You know, so you get to the end of a video and you think to yourself, at least I haven't been confronted with just utter crap. Which, yeah, I don't know. You know, if I sit and watch TV, I actually do think, well, you know, my own videos are far better than what comes out of BBC. And that's a lot for me to say. I'm really not into myself or into my own videos. But when I watch a video on my own, and when I watch BBC, I think to myself, I'd rather watch myself all day. I'd rather watch myself all day. Not because of any particular reason, just because of the fact that I find that everything is just a distraction, an infiltration, a misrepresentation. No wonder people think that money is what it is. No wonder people think law is what it does. No wonder people think that religion is what it is and the Bible does what it does. No wonder the people are completely confused about these things. No wonder, no wonder. And they walk around with that confusion as if it's truth, as if it's fact, and wonder why they're confused, And it's obvious when you just look into things and you just pick up a few dictionaries and look at what words really mean and why he's saying one word and she's actually understanding a different one. It's absolutely no wonder we just get into such quarrels. Yeah, anyway, I'll leave it there. See you later, folks. Cheerio.